Hello and welcome to this weekend feature of the Daily Dose of Greek. And today we're going to talk about a poem. I love Greek, I love Hebrew, I love Latin, I love poetry. One of my favorite poets is the British poet A.E. Housman. He just had a wonderful way of capturing the brevity of life and just this sense of nostalgia in his poems, and they rhyme. I'm a simple man, I like rhyming poetry. He also wrote a poem about Latin grammar, which is amazing. He wrote a poem about the way that adjectives and nouns agree in gender, case, and number. And the poem is actually so spicy, or a bit PG-13, I don't think I could read it without blushing, so I'm not going to read it. But you can Google it and read it if you want. It's called A Fragment of a Didactic Poem on the Latin Grammar. How about that? Fragment of a Didactic Poem on the Latin Grammar by A.E. Housman. H-O-U-S-M-A-N. That's his initials, A.E. Housman. But the poem we're going to talk about today is one that I can read to you. And it's found at the beginning of the Beginning Greek Grammar that my co-author, Ben Merkle, and I wrote. Again, the title of our book is Beginning with New Testament Greek. And in the beginning of that, I hope you didn't just skim over this, there's a poem by J.H. Moulton. Okay, Moulton was a famous British Greek grammarian. You may be familiar with the multi-volume work known as MHT, Moulton Howard Turner, this multi-volume British reference grammar, and he is one of the authors of it, J.H. Moulton. And where did I find this poem? It's an amazing poem. And I found this poem here. Isn't this beautiful? When you go to an old book sale and you find a treasure like this, this is when Moulton's volume was coming out, volume two of the MHT grammar was coming out in fascicles. So this is one of the fascicles. Actually, I guess I have two of the fascicles as they came out. I don't remember where I bought this, some used book sale. And in this, this poem didn't make it into the final copy, I don't believe. But in this is where I found this beautiful poem. Now, before I read it, I want to tell a little bit more about Moulton. Here his full name, not just J.H., but James Hope Moulton. And you can see the poem is dated to February 21st, 1917, written in Bangalore. It's a lot of information right there, right? Because it's written in the midst of World War I, and Moulton is in Bangalore, India, having gone there to do missionary work. And he would soon after this poem was written, return to Great Britain. So here's someone who's not just a grammarian who loves and knows the Greek New Testament, but who is propelled in mission, propelled outward with the gospel by his study, which is a beautiful thing for us. Tragic story, on his way back to Great Britain from India, the boat that he was on, remember this is in the midst of World War I, was torpedoed by a German submarine. The boat sank. He and some other people were on a life raft. He was floating in the open sea on a life raft, and he died on the third day and was buried at sea. On the fourth day, they reached land. They were able to reach Corsica, if I remember correctly. So just a story of sacrifice and mission and tragedy, it's just all kinds of stuff in the life of this famous Greek grammarian. Listen to this poem, though. It's called At the Classroom Door. And this is a poem every teacher of the Bible, I think, could recite. Lord, at thy word opens yon door, inviting teacher and taught to feast this hour with thee. Opens a book where God and human writing thinks his deep thoughts, and dead tongues live for me. Too dread the task, too great the duty calling, too heavy far the weight is laid on me. Oh, if mine own thought should on thy words falling, mar the great message, and men hear not thee. Give me thy voice to speak, thine ear to listen. Give me thy mind to grasp thy mystery. so shall my heart throb, and my glad eyes glisten, rapt with the wonders thou dost show to me. Well, amen. Let that be our prayer. Those of us who are teachers, may the Lord make us faithful, and may not just our minds be ignited, but may our hearts and our souls be ignited with passion for him and his word.